Good morning and happy new moon in Pisces. And what's so fascinating and timely about this new moon is that this is the first new moon since Pluto entered into Aquarius last March of 2023, as he entered in Aries. So, what this means is that you can use these next 4 weeks until the solar eclipse on April 8th, 7th, 8th, and Southeast Missouri will be in the path of totality. So I'm sure some people are trying to get to Cape Girardeau and that area where we touch Tennessee and Illinois. The point is that you can use this time to really do some deep contemplation and or meditation around what the Pisces age of I believe, moving into the Aquarius age of I know, what it means for you personally and what it means for you interpersonally and what it means for you transpersonally or communally. Because Pisces and Aquarius are transpersonal, beyond the personal signs. So Aquarius initiates us into the community through a live and let live philosophy. But in that, it can try to be all things to all people in the moment. And in that, not know who they are, not know who, that the Aquarius in this group of people is one thing, the Aquarius in that group of people is another thing. Well, I put out the fact that, or at least the willing suspension of belief that do we have a fixed identity or are we constantly interacting with our environment, with others, with our inner truth? And the only thing, particularly with Saturn in Pisces over here, leading this new moon in Pisces, because here's the new moon, Sun and Moon are 2021 Pisces, and then Saturn is sitting at 11/12, being complemented by Juno uh, in Virgo. So there's the Virgo Pisces of what are we willing to commit to? Juno in Virgo, Saturn in Pisces is how do we realistically and pragmatically bring our mysticism to our day to day. And then the new moon in Pisces is what do we actually believe? What are we working through in terms of being in the world but not of the world? And then the fact that, like I said, that this is the first one since Pluto's gone into Aquarius, is where we're all getting a download or at least an opening through synchronicities and through just dreams or intuitions or just nudges, hunches even about what does it mean to be a grown ass person on this planet. Do you recycle? Are you transparent? Are you able to be loyal to your inner truth and still be tactful? And does speaking truth mean that you don't speak from any heart or with a heart? Because realize that you can't understand one sign without understanding the sign that's 180 degrees away or the sign that's 6 months from you. So your half birthdays matter, much like Black Lives. Your half birthdays, the sign that is your opposite, because when we say opposite, then we're in binary world. And part of growing into the Aquarius age is getting out of the dualism, getting out of just being attached to third dimensional reality of good versus evil, black versus white, Republican versus Democrat, male versus female, any of that kind of you are the culprit or you are the other. No bueno. It's not good because part of Aquarius is to live and let live, how all individuals come to the group, come to the table, not in some fake ass political correctness, but in a true kind of, I'm going to actively listen to your perspective and see if there's something in it that we can find common ground based on both parties submitting to higher ideals. So imagine we're moving from the Piscean age, which realized started 2,000 years ago. That's why I love the chosen and the phenomena about the chosen, as it's a different story about Jesus and the Christ consciousness in the sense that it doesn't just, we know how it ends, or do we? Hmm. Point is that the crucifixion, the drama of what happened at that point is what a lot of stories is focused on. But how did he get there? Now, I still want a story about what happened between ages 12 and 30. Where did he go? There's no mention of it in the good book, so to speak. But that's a whole nother story. The point that we're working on right now with this moon as we move to the solar eclipse on April 8th is how do we grow up and become individual members in the co-creation of our reality, our shared reality. And some of that is about balancing the authentic intelligence that comes from our heart, that path of individuation, which was kind of spoken a lot about regarding Leo Carl Jung, Swiss psychoanalyst, who broke off from Freud. Story is fascinating, but the Leo is the heart and Aquarius is the circulation. And so just pause on that. What are your central themes about being loyal to your emotional truths, to the heart, the gut brain? And I don't mean heart in terms of a romanticized, oh, I'm going to love you no matter what, which that can certainly be a part of absolute love, but it's the heart that recognizes the grace and dignity of each individual. Yes. And Pisces age is where we submitted to original sin. We sacrificed our egos, but we had to develop an ego in the first place to in order to sacrifice it on the altar of shared wholeness. Now, wholeness is an astro RM, astrology plus our raw material that I'm working out and co-founder Tavish Cardiff. And wholeness is accepting every moment as perfect as it is. Huh? Accepting every moment from the perspective of our soul, the part of our being that witnesses our growth and our evolution and understands that everything happens in our life from a soul perspective or viewpoint for our growth, for integrating our individual bodies and egos and identities, not in some warped original sin and we're not worth anything and we have to seek some larger purpose. No, our purpose is in showing up with authentic intelligence, with a belief and a connection to our own inner truth. And our inner truths are often not personal preferences that are, tend to be exclusive and superior and inferior or in binary, but holistic and authentic and rooted and connected to each other. Vesta is playing a major role as Saturn's eldest daughter. And Vesta is how we use the energy of attraction and Venusian harmony and equilibrium, but we bring it into ourselves first, where we seek inner and maintain our inner equilibrium. So therefore, we can enter into more harmonic atmospheres. Um, Solar eclipse on April 8th. I will be doing more speaking on that. This is a chart for Kansas City. Realize that we're all working out the wounded healer in Aries, conjunct the North Node in Aries. So your individual right to exist and to express who you are, as long as you're doing contemplative and reflective thought every day or every several days or so, where you're reflecting on why did I act? How did my action or non action seek my evolution, my rooted connection to everyone else? If not, why not? Aligning with our intention, that's week 11, with our raw material. Pluto there is the transformation of the individual ego, the initiation of our egos into higher ideals, higher, deeper, and inclusive. This is Quan out, and please put comments at the end in the comment section for how this new moon can affect you personally. Thank you.